Freedom of Information Act, and the dictatorship of mediocrity and corruption.
Good. There's an utmost need for us to draw one another's attention to the increase in awareness, usefulness, and strength of the Freedom of Information Act, using it as a tool to tackle impunity, mediocrity, and corruption in the society. Freedom of Information Act, aka
my right to know.
This means the right to access information held by public bodies. As a colonial territory and later an independent state, Nigeria inherited from their colonial masters a culture in which secrecy was the default mode of dealing with information. Although the right to the freedom of information is enshrined under Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as well as Section 9 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, spelled out under Cap A07 Laws of the Federation, 2004. Like they say, every nation deserves the kind of leadership it gets because come again, sir. I mean, I am trying to every Okay. If you disagree with me, now tell me, what is Nigeria's greatest problem? Leadership.
Yes. Lack of human rights.
Well,
corruption. It is part of them. Mediocrity.
Mediocrity is something of ordinary form, not good nor bad, not satisfactory, inferior or poor.
Very poor. No wonder in Nigeria
Nigeria, we are proud to serve as our motherland.
Nigeria, a nation blessed with rich human and natural resources.
Now so.
Has mediocrity as its greatest problem, because it steals not just the time of the citizen, but the country as a whole, leading to stagnation. Mediocrity is actually our problem, much more than corruption. It takes away the most important resource, time.
It takes away the most important resource, time.
While corruption focuses on physical resources, mediocrity brings about lack of excellence. Mediocrity itself is the reason for corruption. So, it is better to steal the money than the time.
Sure, always. Mediocrity knows nothing higher than itself, but talent instantly recognizes genius. It is not evil that is ruining the earth, but mediocrity. Only mediocrity can be trusted to be always at its best. My people, my people, you're not supposed to say corruption get different levels.
Yes.
For simple language, corruption means say, make a good education system. Papa went to adult to make bribe in Pekin.
Nah, corruption.
Pastor went to for free, go buy private jets.
Nah, corruption.
Government official waiting subsidy money.
Nah, corruption. Corruption can be found in different forms of the economy. It can be found in dictatorial and non-dictatorial politics.
Attention!
Democracy forever!
Feudal, capitalist, and socialist regimes, religious cultures are also bedeviled by corruption.
A state where there is widespread corruption functions very poorly, and a poorly functioning state can only undermine economic growth. In Nigeria today, corruption has become systematic, and with natural resources, mediocrity, and corruption, we are failing to benefit the ordinary citizens.
Within the African continent, Nigeria is now the 9th country to have passed the FOIA. Other countries being Angola, Ethiopia, Guinea, Liberia, Niger, South Africa, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. Meanwhile, while many Nigerians may be celebrating the enactment of the act, it is now clear that the FOIA contains some inherent deficiencies in it.
The FOIA contains more exemption sections and clauses than sections that grant access to information. A situation which might be exploited by some public officers for mischievous purposes. But the point is, we have our FOIA, so let us use it well.
Accountability does matter. So also, transparency is necessary for accountability.
Eventually, the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, was signed into law on the 28th of May 2011 by President Goodluck E. Jonathan. It is the first law that empowers Nigerians with the right to access records of public institutions as well as private sectors where they perform responsibilities of public nature. The Act, which is a codification of the right to know and also a fundamental human right, grants every Nigerian citizen the legally enforceable right to access public health records.
Any refusal to disclose information held by a public body by a requester is subject to appeal to the High Court.
It is also important to note that nobody is above the provisions of the FOIA.
The full culture of record keeping and maintenance, retrieval capacity challenge in many public institutions, bureaucracy in the public sector, as well as widespread corruption and appalling ignorance among the workforce of the public sector. These constitute challenges to the achievement of the goals of the FOIA.
Finally, it is the responsibility of all Nigerians to carry out the oversight function of ensuring compliance to the provision of the Act and not that of the government alone.
And the entire citizenry must rise up and exercise their right to know, as the impact of the Act will not rest on the civil society alone.
As such, the mass media and the general public must take full advantage of the Act.
Say no to mediocrity. Say no to corruption.
It takes you and I to make that change.
Pray for a free, fair, neutral, and just state.
Give honesty a room.
Say yes to
intellectual,
Cultural,
socio-economic,
and political development.